Hello and welcome to the Trent Excalibur YouTube page. My name is Anson Boris, and today we have an exciting matchup for some men's lacrosse playoff action between the Carleton Ravens and the Trent Excalibur. So this is the first round of the playoffs. The team that wins will advance to the Bagataway Cup. So this match has a lot going for it. For the Excaliburs, we've got some players to watch. Nick Fournier, he's got 20 goals on the year, tied for 12th in all of CUFLA. Reed Chamberlain also leading the Excalibur with 28 points overall, 15 goals, 13 assists. On the other side, we've got Armstrong with 19 goals. He's 7th in all of CUFLA with 15 assists, so he's a big playmaker to watch out for the Ravens. That's Griffin Armstrong. Entering this game, the Excaliburs were seated second in the CUFLA East. Meanwhile, Carleton had a 3-6 record, which led them to 5th in the East. So Carleton looking to come in here, pick up a win, and upset this home team Excalibur. So here comes Chris Schell starting things off quickly for the white and green. So there's Adam Harlach here passing it out to Fournier. Remember, Nick Fournier has 20 goals. He's a spark plug for this Excalibur offense. If he can get things going, the Excaliburs could run away with it early. Getting that over to Reed Chamberlain, leading the team with 28 points. Back out to Fournier at the top of your screen, making a cut, looking to attack, finding any opening. There's Fournier going behind the net. Mason Tardif gets that shot, but not enough power behind that, so that goes into the hands of Dylan Faubert, who's making it only his 3rd start of the season for the Ravens. The Excaliburs are undefeated at home with a 5-0 record in the regular season, but the Ravens looking to upset them here. There's some great defense there by Cole Daugherty. So here's Logan Grant for the Ravens. Grant's got 4 goals on the year. At the top of your screen there. Number 13, Jacob Kizek, passing that behind the net. Ravens taking their time, trying to set up a play, find any opening they can to strike first here. There's Kizek once again. Kizek attacking, defended there by Thistlethwaite. And Baker with the stop there, and the Ravens pressuring early, but Callan Baker snuffs out that threat. And so it will be the Excalibur starting with possession. Baker sending that over to Curtis Conley. Excalibur's getting through the midfield with ease here. Attacking is Harlach once again, sending that behind the net to Mason Tardif. Tardif had 5 goals in a 17-7 win against the Ottawa GGs. If he gets hot, he can get on a roll. He scores in bunches. Fournier attacking, a good cut, passing behind the net there to Conley. Ripping a shot as Chamberlain, but just off target. So that was the Excalibur's first real shot of the game. Now it's the Ravens getting set, passing that over to Grant here behind the net. Back over to Grant, resetting here. Ravens really looking for any opening, but this Excalibur defense is tough to crack. There's great defense there by Nate Allen. The Ravens trying to get a shot off, but it's suffocated there by Curtis Conley. And so Nate Allen will look to pick up this ball, and he does have possession for the Excalibur, moving this ball up over to Will White. White driving through the midfield. Going downtown. That shot there by Connor Curtis, but scooped in by Faubert. Harlach fighting for that ground ball. Trying to scoop it up, and he does. So that whistle there was a turnover. So Harlach playing a little bit too aggressively on defense. And so the Ravens have possession. Over to Griffin Armstrong, the leader of this Ravens offense in 21. Kazik going back down there to Jensen White. Back over to Kazik. Kazik at the top of your screen. Looking to make something happen here. Ripping that shot off the stick of Baker. It's another good save. So Baker picking up his second of the game. There's Armstrong attacking, sending that back over to White. So that pass becomes a ground ball, and it is going to be turned over. So here come the Excaliburs, wasting no time here with Curtis Conley. Ripping that shot, but into the stick of Faubert. So he picks up another save. That's his third of the game. Here's Logan Grant. So the Ravens and the Excaliburs exchanging blows, but nobody able to get it behind the net. Here come the Ravens passing this around. Some good ball movement. There's Joshua Sweet. Still looking for an opening. Defended well there by Cole Doherty. Ripping that shot off the stick of Grant, but can't get it behind Baker. So here comes Ryan Moore, and he gets tackled. A big hit there. And the Ravens will get another chance at it with about 8 minutes 30 on the clock. Logan Grant finding Jensen White. Back over to Grant. There's Sweet. Sweet attacking. And Hadaway fumbling this ball, but it's picked up by Kazik. Kazik sending that over to White. White looks for an opening. Any gap to get a shot off, but he can't find anything. Passing that over to Sweet. Sweet looking for that gap. There's a shot off the stick of Grant, but that was spiked off the ground and out of harm's way. Ravens trying to get anything going here. Interrupted there by the Excaliburs. Great defense by Chris Schell. The midfielder fighting for this ground ball. Both teams. A big scuffle here in the midfield trying to get that ball. The Excaliburs look to come away from there, and there is a penalty, and that'll be served to the Ravens there. Will White getting absolutely smothered there, so the Ravens will be a man down. And I believe that penalty was awarded to Carter Smith. So Reed Chamberlain going to start things off here. The Excaliburs with a big chance now with just about 7 minutes left in this first quarter. A man-up opportunity. Can they take advantage? Tardif. Over to Fournier. Fournier. There's Chamberlain. Harlach passing. The Excalibur with good ball movement. And Tardif ripping that shot. And he finds the back of the net, so Mason Tardif strikes first here for the Excaliburs, and they jump out to a 1-0 lead there. And that was some great ball movement, great passing by the Excaliburs. Mason Tardif found that opening and sent that through the legs of Dylan Faubert. So that's the 25th goal of the season that Dylan Faubert has let by, and that's number 13 on the season for Mason Tardif, his first of the playoffs. So that was the start that the Excaliburs needed there, taking advantage of that man-up opportunity and finding the back of the net. Here's McPherson looking for more. The Excalibur offense exploded last time out for 17 goals against the GGs. The Ravens faced the Bishops last time out, and they fell in a 13-7 loss. So the Ravens looking to turn their season around, find some playoff luck here, but it looks like the Excaliburs have gotten off to a good start. Here's Fournier going downtown, passing that off to Chamberlain. Chamberlain dumps it over to Duel. Duel with a quick jab step, but just off target. That was a great play there by Jordan Duel, but the Excaliburs will get another chance at it. Here's Chamberlain. Fournier attacking. Beats his defender. Great move by Nick Fournier, but that ball is scooped up by Faubert. Couldn't get enough power behind that shot. Faubert is going to pass this up through the midfield. That's a ground ball, and there's a turnover. So the Excaliburs get another chance off the misplay by Faubert. And here's Tardif. Chamberlain's going to send this over to Adam Thistlethwaite. The Excaliburs taking their time here. About 5 minutes left on the clock. Attack by Dylan Rye. Reed Chamberlain threatened a shot, little pump fake. Sends that to Tardif. And a similar play, but can't convert for his second goal, so that's going to go out of bounds. That was a very similar play to Tardif's first goal of the game. Tardif is so dangerous behind the net. He makes such great cuts, finding those openings and making those quick shots. Just couldn't get it on target that time. So play will resume here. Rye trying to maneuver his way behind the net. Tardif was there in front, but he gets tackled down. So it will be the Ravens' possession. So this ball is sent up over to Terrence Barina. Barina over to White. White has Logan Grant. So the Ravens trying to threaten here. Behind the net with Jensen White. Good movement, but the Excalibur defense not really giving the Ravens anything to work with here. They've been struggling to create opportunities. The Ravens attacking, trying to get that shot off, but skied over the head of Callan Baker. And so the Excalibur survived that one as well. Nate Allen sending this ball up. Will White trying to pick this ground ball up. He's having a little bit of trouble. And it's another scuffle, a big hit on Nate Allen. Looking for a call. There is a whistle. And so it will be Ravens possession. Logan Grant pressuring with Jensen White behind the net. Sending that up to Kaizek. So flag is down on the field. We'll have to see what that means when this play is all said and done. So we're just waiting for play to resume here with Cam York. Seems as though the Ravens will retain possession. So it was Nate Allen that was called for a penalty. So the Ravens have a man-up opportunity here. We'll see if they can convert. Ravens looking to make a shot here. Can't get much room. There's a big shot, but into the stick of Baker. He picks up another save off the shot of Joshua Sweet. And here come the Excalibur now. Jaden Sample getting them into the offensive zone with about 2 minutes left on the clock here in quarter number 1. So the Excaliburs have been threatened by the Ravens offense, but they've done a good job of keeping that wall up, and Callan Baker making some pretty clutch saves. Fournier working with Duel. Skies that over to Chamberlain. A lot of movement here in this Excalibur offense. Passing that behind the net to Curtis. Tardif over to Harlech, and it finds its way over to Fournier. Nick Fournier now attacking. Quick jab. Looking for a pass. Curtis has a shot. He takes it, but just to the right of the net. So about a minute left, and it looks as though the Ravens will have the final play of the quarter. And there's immediately a turnover. And here comes McPherson for the Excaliburs, racing downhill. Quick passes, Curtis can't connect with that pass. And so the Ravens have another chance. There's a ground ball scooped up by Will White. A great play. And there's a whistle. And so it seems as though the Excaliburs have called timeout with 23 seconds on the clock. So Trent looking to add on another goal before the end of this first quarter. And it's really been their defense and goalkeeping by Callan Baker that has stood out for the white and green. Ravens have been pressuring for the majority of this quarter. But it was a costly penalty on the Ravens that allowed for a man-up opportunity, and Mason Tardif was the man to score that goal for Trent to put them up 1-0. So coming out of this timeout, the Excaliburs looking to play aggressively. They don't have much time to make something happen, but they would love to go up 2-0 heading into the second quarter. So the Ravens exiting timeout here, looking to get set on defense. Trent's still in their huddle. So now the Excalibur getting set. Looks like it'll be Dallin Rye. Yep, Dallin Rye is up top. Going to start things off for Trent here. 23 seconds on the clock. Play is back underway. Rye threatening. Looking to get by. Trying to find a pass here. Gets one to Fournier. Fournier over to Reed Chamberlain. Fournier now attacking. Ripping that shot off target. And there's about 3 seconds left on the clock. So looking for a little Hail Mary to end this quarter. Curtis has possession at the behind the net. Quick pass. Tardif gets a shot off, but it goes right to Faubert. And so the first quarter ends with the Excaliburs leading 1-0. And so as it stands, Callan Baker has 3 saves for the Excaliburs. Faubert facing 7 shots, making 6 saves, letting 1 by to Mason Tardif. So stick with us as we head into a short break. The Trent Excalibur lead the Carleton Ravens 1-0 in the first playoff game. So welcome back to Justin Chu Stadium here as we enter the second quarter of play. The Excaliburs coming into this first playoff game. They're coming in with a 4-game win streak. Meanwhile, Carleton kind of limping into the playoffs with 2 losses in a row, looking to turn things around and get back up on their feet. But Trent undefeated at home. They have a 5-0 record, 8-2 overall. They've got a plus 30 goal differential. Meanwhile, Carleton sitting at 3-6, 5th in the East with a negative 27 goal differential. So a tale of 2 very different teams here. The Excaliburs probably the heavy favorites, but the Ravens still keeping this to a 1-goal game. They are very much in striking distance. And they're starting things off on offense here. There's Griffin Armstrong. He's got 19 goals on the year, 15 assists, so a huge playmaker. That's 7th in CUFLA for his 15 assists. There's Cam York, got 17 goals on the year. Another key piece for this Ravens team. They've got to get things going here if they want to stick with the Excalibur. Armstrong working, trying to get that shot off, but it goes straight to Baker for his 4th save of the game. Baker sending this up to the midfield, connecting with Chris Schell. Schell dumps that off to White. And so Trent into their offensive zone comfortably. So Chamberlain going to get things started now. The Excalibur's attacking. There's Jordan Dool. Dool passing that down. There's Tardif behind the net now with Harlach over to Reed Chamberlain. Dool at the top of your screen. With the jump, looking to attack. Dumps that off to Tardif. Connor Curtis now with Fournier. Rips that shot, but a nice scoop there by Faubert. So the Ravens survive that threat. So here come the Excalibur now with Thistlethwaite. Thistlethwaite with speed, getting that over to Harlack. He had a shot there, but didn't fire. Good spinning move, but that shot off target from McPherson. So Trent still alive here on offense. They're going to get another chance. Harlack passing that up to Thistlethwaite. Rye now attacking. Dallin Rye behind the net over to Tardif. Looking for a pass in front of the net. Couldn't find it. Tardif still working. Loses his defender. There's Harlack. Great passing there. Rye trying to get that shot off. And the Excaliburs say they have a goal. They do. And so Dallin Rye picks up that ball and sends it to the back of the net. So I'm not sure what happened there. There's a bit of a scuffle in front of the net. But what I'm being told is that the ball actually tipped off the stick of Dylan Faubert. So waiting on confirmation, that may have been an own goal by Faubert, but that was off the stick of Dallin Rye. So the goal will be awarded to Dallin Rye, number 36 on the Excaliburs, and they jump out to a 2-0 lead. So here's Harlack trying to fight for this ground ball. Scooped up here by Sample. And both teams still fighting for this ball as it goes out of bounds. And another scuffle here. Looks like the Ravens will get possession. Try to get something going on offense as they've been pretty quiet. Unable to find that spark. Here's Logan Grant, and there's a great pickpocket. And here comes Jaden Sample. Still some great defense by Trent, this time coming in the midfield. So Harlack will take a moment, get the shift settled as Chamberlain comes on. And so Duel will have control. Jordan Duel over to Fournier on the wing. Fournier looking for a pass. He's got Chamberlain. Now Duel looking to make a quick jab move. Passing behind the net. The Excalibur is looking like a well-oiled machine here. Great ball movement. Fournier ripping that shot just off target. So the Excalibur's pressuring once again. 4 minutes into this second quarter. Chamberlain working with a nice spin move. Defended well, though. Duel ripping that, trying to snipe it. Yeah, that did not look like it went in. And so play will resume here. The Ravens going the other way. Jordan Duel almost pulled off an absolute snipe. And that shot is way off target by Chris Sissons, the long stick. So another scuffle here, whistle down, but the Ravens will hold possession, working with Griffin Armstrong. Isaac sending that behind the net. Jensen White kind of struggling to keep that ball in possession, and it's actually going to be a turnover. And so the Ravens fumble that opportunity. And that was just a careless pass. And Jensen White couldn't control it. So it's going to be Will White going the other way for Trent. And White is getting absolutely smothered by Barina in the midfield. But the ball will find its way to Dallin Rye. We'll see if he can pick up goal number 2 here in the game. Harlack. Quick jab, but retreats. Here's Detweiler now. Looking to get something going, ripping that shot. Detweiler finds Rye. And so Trent could not get a shot off in time. So it will be a turnover here, and the Ravens screaming into the Excalibur defensive zone. Sweet in control. Back over to Armstrong, and there's a flag on the field. We'll see what that's about. Potentially a man-up opportunity for the Ravens. Looking for an opening. Cam York spinning behind the back shot, but off target. And so it looks as though Nate Allen will get another penalty. That's his second of the game. It's another man-up opportunity for the Ravens. First time around, they could not convert. So we'll see if they can get it on the board here. About 7 minutes, 22 seconds left on the clock. Ravens really need to convert on this man-up opportunity here. Take full advantage, especially after being unable to do it in their first time around. Quick passes here. Playing very close together, and the Ravens blow it, and it's another turnover. And so Carleton unable to convert on that man-up opportunity once again. So here's McPherson heading the other way. Harlack ripping that shot. Deflected off the defender, but into the hands of Fournier, so he keeps it for the white and green. Jordan Duell now. So it'll be Chamberlain, Fournier, Duell, Curtis, Harlack, and Tardif on the field. And there's a shot and scores. And the Excaliburs go up 3-0. And what a play there by Chamberlain to find his first of the game. And he celebrates with a little swim. And that was an electric play there by Reed Chamberlain, beating his defender and spiking that ball in. So with 6 minutes remaining on the clock, we've got a 3-goal lead for the Trent Excalibur. And the Ravens have got to be kicking themselves after missing on that man-up opportunity. Another great chance for them to get on the board, but it's Trent that takes full advantage there. So these teams have played each other twice this season. The first game coming on September 28th, the Ravens came away with a 9-6 win. But then a couple weeks later, they played again, and the Excaliburs got their revenge in a 7-3 win. So the regular season record is 1-1, but it's looking like it's all Trent here early on in round one of the playoffs. So here's Detweiler. Here's Thistlewaite attacking. Thistlewaite finding Tardif. Tardif spinning. A scoop shot, but off target. And Mason Tardif, he's been known to get those shots cutting from behind the net. Just couldn't convert on that one. So 5 minutes left in quarter number 2. Trent looking to end this first half on a high note. And there's Tardif. And Mason Tardif off a quick pass there. Getting play underway, and Trent strikes quickly, and it's a 4-goal lead now. Mason Tardif has number 2 on the day. He's 1 goal shy of a hat trick. And the Excaliburs are looking extremely good here early in round 1 of the playoffs. They're looking quite unstoppable. Their defense has been extremely sound, forcing turnovers, getting that ball into the offensive zone quickly. And it's been Mason Tardif leading the way here for the Excalibur. So the ground ball fought for, but eventually going out of bounds. So the Ravens will pick up possession. So it's going to be Cam York starting, trying to attack, going behind the net, looking for a pass out in front, and a great chance there, but couldn't connect with Logan Grant, who was cutting in through the middle. And it's another turnover for the Ravens, unable to get a single shot off here. Will White now looking to get through the midfield. And he's going to cut through this Ravens defense like butter. Here's Jordan Dool now, over to Chamberlain. Chamberlain cutting in once again, finding Tardif behind the net. A quick pass over to Curtis, but I believe that was scooped up by the Ravens. They're going to go the other way. And here come the Ravens on the fast break, but they're going to slow things down here. Wait to get everybody in the offensive zone and get set. So here's Armstrong attacking now. Ripping that shot into the stick of Baker, picking up another save. So Fournier scoops this one up. And now it's Trent on the fast break with Curtis Conley. And that shot goes out of bounds. So there's a turnover by the Excalibur. So about 2 minutes, 50 seconds left here on the clock. Heading into halftime. A long pass deflected by the Excalibur defense and scooped up by Callan Baker. Baker sending this up to Marwick. So Harlech in control now in the dying minutes of this second quarter. Trent's offense has exploded for 3 goals here in this quarter alone. Here's Jordan Dool. Jordan Dool, a nice spin move, looking for a shot. Another spinning move. Jordan Dool still with possession. Here's Tardif now juggling for this ball. Tardif still working. Nice spin move. Trying to get that pass off. A good save by Rye. Dallin Rye now attacking. Looking for his second of the quarter. Still Dallin Rye behind the net. And I believe there was a shot clock violation there, so another turnover by Trent. Couldn't get much going there as it was defended well by the Ravens. So now the Ravens with about a minute left on the clock here, looking to finally get on the board. And there's another pass that the Ravens can't connect on. Jensen White's going to watch that ball roll out of bounds, and that's another turnover by the Ravens. The Excalibur is doing a great job on defense, but the Ravens struggling to get much going. And here's Callan Baker attacking now, bringing it up through the midfield, passing that up to Will White. So I believe it will be another timeout for the Excalibur, taken with 32 seconds on the clock here. So an interesting fact here is that the last time these two teams met on October 17th, the Excaliburs jumped out to a 4-0 lead in the first half, but then in the second one, Carleton stormed back to get 3 goals. So we'll see if the Ravens are more of a second half team here, but they've got a lot of ground to cover if they hope to get this win and advance to the Bagataway Cup. But as it stands right now, the Excaliburs looking comfortable on both sides of the field, offensively and defensively. And Callan Baker making some big saves here. Really shutting down that Ravens offense as they've been keeping this shutout for 2 straight quarters. Trent will have one final chance on offense to make something happen here. We'll see if they can get themselves a 5-goal lead here entering the second half. So play is back underway here. Adam Harlak sending this up to Reed Chamberlain. Chamberlain here over to Thistlethwaite. Quick pass over to Rye. Rye, a nice pass over to Tardif, looking for a hat trick. That ball is deflected off of Faubert and scooped up, and there's a big foul here. And I believe that is Mason Tardif. So yeah, Mason Tardif will head to the penalty box. Oh, my mistake. That's actually Reed Chamberlain being awarded with that penalty. And so with about 10 seconds left on the clock, the Ravens, and I believe they're just going to let this clock run out. And so that'll do it for quarter number 2 and the first half. The Trent Excalibur jumping out to a 4-0 lead here, led by 2 goals scored by Mason Tardif. And so stick with us here as we head into halftime. All good. Hello and welcome back to Justin Chu Stadium here, getting set for the third quarter of play as the Trent Excalibur lead the Carleton Ravens 4-0 here in this first round of the playoffs. Ravens unable to get much going here against this Excalibur defense. They've been absolutely suffocated, but there's a quick start. And as I say that, Jensen White breaks through for their first goal of the game. That may have been a commentator's curse here as it's 4-1. The Ravens get on the board now. So as I stated before in the first half, the Ravens were more of a second half team, especially against the Excalibur. Last time they played, the Excaliburs also jumped out to a 4-0 lead, but the Ravens stormed back in that second half, and they come out firing here in the third quarter. We'll see if they can mount a comeback, but the Excaliburs caught off guard early in this second half. The Ravens looking to add another one on the board. Quick goals in the first minute of this third quarter. So the Excaliburs really have to regroup here. And this Ravens team looking like a completely different squad. So that's two quick goals here, and the Excaliburs are left stunned. And so there's another flag on the field. And so it'll be Chris Schell picking up that penalty. So the Ravens with a man-up opportunity here. And this is a golden chance for them to get themselves back within one. Carleton now with the man up. Grant passing that over to Sweet. Good ball movement here. Joshua Sweet looking for Grant. Quick passing. And another goal, and oh my goodness, Jensen White picks up goal number 2 in 2 minutes for him, and it's 4-3 for the Ravens. And the Excaliburs are falling apart in this third quarter. And so Jensen White picks up his second goal of the game, his second goal of the quarter as well. And the Ravens were down 4-0 coming into this quarter. And in a minute and 30 seconds, they've scored 3 goals. So Trent with their first offensive chance of the quarter. We'll see if they can get back up on their feet. They've got to turn things around. All the momentum has shifted to the Carleton Ravens at this point. Here's Chamberlain over to Rye. Rye attacking, quick jab step. The pass, trying to find Tardif. Tardif's shot off target, but Trent will get another chance. Harlech here moving. Trying to push his way through to an opening. Harlech rips that shot, and there's Adam Harlech. What a goal. And that was all 23 as the Excaliburs extend their lead back up to 5-3. Harlech was behind the net, boxing out his defender, and it was a quick spin move that lost him, and he rips that shot. And so Trent ends the run by the Ravens. And we could be in for a great second half here. 4 goals scored in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Here's Jensen White behind the net now. Here's Joshua Sweet attacking now. Ravens putting on some more pressure. Looking to get themselves back within 1, and there's some better defense here by the Excaliburs. But that ball rolls into the hands of Grant. And Ravens keep it going. Carleton still working. Passing that off to Sweet. Sweet rips a shot off target. Here's White now. Here's Sweet now. Passing that over to White, looking for any space. Working there on Ryan Morin. Good defense here by the Excaliburs. Logan Grant still working, a spin, a pass, but it's intercepted there by Nate Allen. And so the white and green will go the other way. And here's Nate Allen flying through the midfield. Passing that down to Harlech. And Harlech will find Nick Fournier. Fournier's got 20 goals on the season, leading this Excalibur team, but he's been held scoreless thus far. Jordan Duell now. Working his way, getting past his defender, taking a shot, but skies it over the net. Trent will keep possession. It's Connor Curtis here with the ball. Curtis finds Harlech. He's behind the net once again. Finding Curtis. There's Tardif making a cut, but bounced off the ground. And so there's a turnover by the Excalibur. Ravens going the other way. Ravens scrambling for this ball. It's going to be picked up by Nick Fournier and passed. There's Harlech. He's got one man to beat. Tardif wide open. There's a shot. Mason Tardif with the hat trick. And what a play by the Excaliburs, turning that defense into offense. And Mason Tardif extends the lead 6-3. And Trent explodes on that play. A great pass by Fournier finding Harlech. And Tardif was wide open for the hat trick. So here's McPherson sending that up to Will White. And there's some great defense by the Ravens, but White's going to fight for this ground ball. A big scuffle here in the Ravens zone. Both teams, the entirety of their rosters fighting for this ball. It's going to be scooped up there by Shell. So it looks like the Excalibur will call a timeout. And so coming into this second half, the Ravens were down 4-0. They stormed back, scoring 3 goals in a minute and 40 seconds. But it's been Trent who has responded with goals by Harlack and Tardif. So a little bit of a fun fact, back on October 17th, these two teams played each other, the last game they've played against each other, and the goals have been scored in the exact same order. Trent jumped out to a 4-0 lead. Then the Ravens stormed back with 3 goals in the third quarter, but Trent responded for 2 in a row. And so it's 6-3 here as well. The game ended in a 7-3 win for the Excaliburs. They added 1 more in that fourth quarter. So we'll see what happens here with about 8 minutes, 40 seconds left in this third quarter. But these two teams repeating history in this first round of the playoffs. Trent looking to advance to the Bagataway Cup. They're looking to keep their perfect home record and improve it to 6-0. It's going to be Detweiler starting with the ball here as we come back into play. Detweiler dumps that off to Thistlethwaite. Thistlethwaite sends it over to Rye. Rye here, a quick spin move. Looking for any space. He finds a little bit, attacking. Rye over to Curtis. Connor Curtis to Thistlethwaite. Thistlethwaite has Detweiler. Detweiler attacks. Dumps it off to Thistlethwaite. Thistlethwaite attacking. Looking to get a shot off. Rye behind the net for a cutting Curtis. Curtis rips that shot off the bar. Ball will trickle away, but picked up there, and Detweiler falls, but he keeps possession. That's Harlack. Here's Curtis. Trent getting set once again. Tardif behind the net. Rye with a spin move. Looking for a shot. Maneuvering. Tardif tried to tap that one in. It's going to be Trent ball still. Tardif now working behind the net. Ravens with some good defense. Tardif still fighting for this ground ball. And he picks it up. That ball is going to go out of bounds, and it's a turnover for Trent. And so the Ravens pick up possession here, and they're going to go the other way, hoping to turn this defense into some much-needed offense as they're behind by 3 once again. This ball is on the ground now. Could it be a turnover? And the Ravens almost blow that chance, but I believe they're going to call timeout. And that's something that they really need to limit is those turnovers. The Ravens in the first half had way more turnovers than Trent, and it cost them dearly as they fell behind by 4. To begin the second half, they were much cleaner on offense, but since then, Trent has stormed back. So we're going to head into this quick break as we have these two teams in timeout. So we are back underway here, coming out of the Ravens timeout. They have possession. So Jensen White sending this back up to Grant. Here's Sweet ripping that shot, goes right to Baker. Scooped and saved. And now it's Trent going the other way. And here's Curtis Conley. He was getting set to rip that one, but he dumps it off to White. Connor Curtis now sends that up to Fournier, and Trent will get set here with their main line. Now Duell comes into play. Jordan Duell looking to attack. Jabbing on the wing. Jordan Duell sends this off to Fournier. Fournier fools his defender. Nick Fournier just off target. That would have been a highlight of a goal. He had his defender spinning. Harlach now looking to make a move. Here's Adam Harlach. He's got tons of space, plenty of room, and Adam Harlach, goal number 2. The spin cycle, and it's 7-3 for Trent. That was a great play there by Adam Harlach. Finds his second of the game. And so Trent is back up by 4. And so that's goal number 13 on the year for Harlach, his 19th point. That comes at a great time here for the white and green. Here's Jason Marwick. Sends that to Baker.
Trent Excalibur goal scored by number 23, Adam Harlach, his second of the game.
So Will White waiting for the lines to get settled here. Dumps that off to Thistlethwaite. Thistlethwaite over to Connor Curtis. He's got Rye. Back to Harlach, and here's Rye now. Rye looking for a pass. He's got Thistlethwaite. Thistlethwaite sends that to Tardif, but Tardif skies that ball off target. That shot had some power behind it, but couldn't find the net. Harlach now dumping that over to Rye behind the net. Rye, a nice move. Dylan Rye, and there's another goal for him. And it's 8-3 now, and the floodgates have opened. And that's 4 straight goals for Trent. And I believe that's Dallin Rye's second of the game as well. And so Trent is going to win this faceoff with the help of Will White.
Goal scored number 36, Dallin Rye, his second of the game.
And this ball makes it to McPherson. Fournier now waiting for his line to get settled. And Trent has really turned things around since letting in those 3 goals. Looking much more like the team we saw in that first half. And Fournier can't connect with that pass here. And it's going to be taken the other way by Chris Sissons. And that pass is off target and another turnover. And the Ravens fumble that chance. Yeah, they could not get anything started there. Dallin Rye looking for the pass. Connor Curtis rips that shot. but it's fended off by Faubert. And here's Tardif. Tardif sends that off to Connor Curtis. He's got Fournier at the top. Fournier with a quick move, passing that to Chamberlain. Fournier rips that shot. Would have been a nice snipe. Tardif bouncing that off the ground, but Faubert scoops it in. And Trent really putting pressure now as the Ravens go the other way. And Trent not making this easy on Carleton, trying to get through that midfield. And it looks like Connor Curtis broke his stick there. And it's forced out. Dallin Rye with the pickpocket. And it's back to the Excalibur's possession. And so Carleton just being unable to even make it past the midfield at this point. Trent has been living in their defensive zone. They've set up shop and they've refused to leave. Duel now, looking to make a play. Attacking. Over to Tardif. Tardif has Fournier at the top. Chamberlain, quick ball movement. Looking for space. Detweiler at the top now. He's heading downtown. Detweiler ripping that shot. Saved by Faubert off the stick. So going the other way, Barina now for the Ravens. He's got some space, rips that shot. It's off target. And they can't convert there on the fast break. And so the Ravens haven't had a true offensive possession where they've gotten set since around the 12th minute. Final minute of this third quarter. Round one of the playoffs, Trent with a comfortable lead, 8-3. We'll see what they do here on offense. Can they add another one and really put the dagger in the hearts of the Ravens? Bleeding the clock here, Jordan Duel. 30 seconds left. Chamberlain over to Detweiler. Fournier behind the net. Here's Harlach boxing out. Chamberlain. Duel rips that shot off target, but there's a flag on the field. And so I believe the Excalibur have a man-up opportunity. And there's another flag. That's the second in a row. My mistake. That was not another flag. So Trent's just going to let the clock wind down here to end this third quarter. And it's 5 straight goals for the Excaliburs. They've stormed back after letting in 3 early in the third quarter. And so it's an 8-3 lead for Trent as we head into the final quarter in this first round of the playoffs. Trent looking to punch their ticket to the Piscataway Cup. Stick with us. So welcome back to Justin Chu Stadium here, entering the fourth and final quarter of play. The Excaliburs are on offense. They have a man-up opportunity. They scored on their last one. Meanwhile, the Ravens have had 4 man-up chances. They've scored on none of them. So a big difference here. We'll see if Trent can convert. And they do right away. Mason Tardif wastes no time on the man-up chance, and it's his 4th of the game. It's 9-3 Trent. And so Trent is now 2 for 2 on man-up chances. The Ravens are 0 for 4, and that could be the big difference here in this one. Mason Tardif having a massive game here in round 1 of the playoffs. And adding on to his hat trick, he's not done yet. So Mason Tardif looking like a playoff hero here for Trent. Fighting for this face-off. It's going to be Terrence Perina going the other way for the Ravens.
Trent Excalibur goal, score by number 71. Mason Tardif, his 4th of the game.
Cam York passing that over to Jensen White. Quick shot there off target by Grant. Baker just watched it fly by. Here's Cam York attacking from behind the net now, defended by Allen. And he's being smothered here. And Nate Allen, great defense now. Not letting Cam York have any glimpse of daylight. And that ball is coughed up. And it's going to be turned over. So Trent defends the Ravens' chance beautifully. And now going the other way, Chris Schell. And so it's going to be Dallin Rye holding possession. And Trent's offense really exploded towards the end of that third quarter. And it looks like they're keeping it going. Tardif striking in the first minute of this fourth quarter. This'll wait now. Has Detweiler. Detweiler rips that shot straight to Faubert. Carleton had a little bit of trouble there in front of the net, but they've gotten things sorted, and they're going to head for an offensive chance. Griffin Armstrong now with the ball. He's got a little bit of space, decides not to rip a shot. And so there is a flag on the field, probably landing on a Trent defender. And another chance here. The Ravens take that shot, goes right to Baker. But I believe it's Fournier who's heading and awarded that penalty. So another man-up opportunity for the Ravens. It's their 5th of the game, but they've been unable to convert on their first 4 chances. So a little bit of confusion there. It's actually Bjorn Dielman getting the penalty there. But either way, the Ravens are up a man here. Ravens looking for a chance. Armstrong passing that over to York. Back out to Armstrong. Sweet finds York once again in that corner. Joshua Sweet finds Kazik. The Excalibur's swarming on defense, doing a great job, but they find the back of the net, and it's Jensen White picking up the 4th goal for the Ravens. So Trent was looking good on defense there, but it took just a single second. A shot by White, and it's 9-4. So the Ravens finally convert on that man-up chance. So they're now 1 for 5. And it's going to be Curtis Conley picking up this ball. And it looks like Trent will head into timeout. So stick with us here. The Excaliburs have an offensive chance. It's 9-4. So we are back underway at Justin Chu Stadium. And after that goal by Jensen White, he actually picks up a hat trick. He scored 3 of the 4 for Carleton. So really leading his team here. Over to Harlack now. Harlack's got Fournier on the side. Fournier with some more spinning moves. And he drops his stick, loses the ball. Fournier overcomplicates that play and turns it over. Getting a little too fancy. And the Ravens now have a fast break opportunity. Here's Griffin Armstrong. Cam York behind the net now. And here's Sweet. Sweet staying patient, has Grant. And there's Jensen White that's popped up. Callan Baker's there. In front of the net, ball is loose. The ground ball, and Baker just saves it. That almost rolled in. So Carleton was inches away from picking up their 5th goal off that ground ball. So here's Armstrong now. Armstrong, quick jab. Knocked down there by Nate Allen, a great defensive play, and he scoops that up himself. Nate Allen's been on fire defensively today. Ball finds its way over to McPherson. Defended there by Barina. And he gets past a good screen there by White. And so Trent comfortably in their offensive zone now. Controlled by Harlack. Harlack up to Chamberlain. Chamberlain has Fournier now, looking to redeem himself. Fournier dumps it off to Duel. Duel and Fournier with the give and go. Chamberlain's going to scoop up that ground ball. And so there's the shot clock violation, and it's a turnover for the Excalibur. Could not get much going there. No clean shot for them, so it's going to be the Ravens with the chance now. If they want to do something, it's got to be now. Down by 5 with 8 minutes 30 on the clock. Logan Grant fighting through the midfield. Here's Sissons. And so there's a little bit of a scuffle here between Sissons and Marwick. Getting in each other's faces, but ref gets in the way. So I believe it was a timeout called by the Ravens. So they're going to head into the huddle, cook up a game plan, and we'll see if they can fight back here. We know that they're able to score goals in bunches, but with 8 minutes on the clock in this Excalibur defense, it's going to be a tough mountain to climb, so stick with us as we head into timeout. So we are jumping back into play here at Justin Chu Stadium. 8 minutes left in this fourth quarter of the first round of these playoffs here. The Excaliburs leading the Carleton Ravens 9-4. But Carleton looking to get a comeback going here as they come out of timeout. Play back underway. Steenbachers sends that behind the net. There's Jensen White. He's got three goals today already. Great defense there by Marwick. Trent going the other way, pushing with this fast break. Nate Allen looking for a pass. He's going to send that over to Harlack. And so Trent's going to take their time and get settled here. Fournier jumps onto the scene with Detweiler. And here comes Chamberlain now too. Sorry, that's actually Jordan Duel. Now Duel working, cutting inside on the wing. Another spin move. Duel trying to find Tardif there. Tardif with a quick pass. Detweiler just off target to the left of the net. Detweiler had a great chance there, but that shot rifled past the goalie. Duel starting with it. Another spin move, loses his defender. And Duel, what a play. Jordan Duel works his magic, and it's 10-4 Excalibur lead. Duel with the spin move and slam dunk into the net. And so that may just be the dagger. Ravens down by 6. With 6:57 on the clock. Here's Chris Schell now, maneuvering his way through the midfield. Schell loses that ball, but he gets it back. He's going to dump that into the zone. Who picks it up? It's Nick Fournier. He's got a fast break. Nick Fournier just to the right. And 24 had a great chance there. So Tardif now going to pass this off to Curtis. Detweiler at the top with Reed and Fournier. Back over to Nick Fournier, making a spin move, and there's a snipe, and Nick Fournier with the bullet straight to the back of the net. And it's 11-4 Excalibur, and Nick Fournier finally breaks onto the scene. That's goal number 21 on the year for him. And so it's going to be Jackson Hayner replacing Callan Baker in net for the Excalibur. And so here's Joshua Sweet going the other way. That ball is knocked loose by Trent. Still picked up by the Ravens. And so Nick Fournier may have just sealed the deal and sent Trent to the Piscataway Cup. But there's still a lot of time left on the clock. And as I say that, Jacob Kazik picks up a goal, and it's 11-5 now. So there may be a comeback brewing here. They need 6 goals in 5 minutes, which is definitely possible for this Ravens team, but the Excalibur defense is one that does not give up goals very easily. Jackson Hayner, however, faces one shot and has already given up a goal. The Excalibur is going the other way, but that ball is knocked out of harm's way. Fulbert is going to sky this up to Armstrong. Cam York looking for Armstrong in front of the net, and it's intercepted there by Allen. Allen sends this up to Curtis Conley. Conley, he's got space, and he's going to sky that. Not sure if that was a pass or a shot, but either way, Excaliburs will have possession. There is a flag on the field. And I believe that Trent now has a man-up chance. And it's going to be Logan Grant. So Trent now, 2 for 2 on man-up chances, looking to go a perfect 3 for 3. We'll see if they can get anything going here. 4 minutes, 45 seconds left on the clock. Here's Detweiler looking for it, and Detweiler wastes no time spinning and finding another goal. And so it's 12-5 now, and Trent is back up by 7 comfortably. So Keegan Detweiler, that's goal number 6 on the night. Sorry, on the season.
Player of the game to 17. Sounds good. February scored that.
So both teams fighting for this face-off. It's going to be the Ravens who win it in the end.
Excalibur goal, score number 21, Keegan Detweiler. Yeah.
So here's Elliot Holt now working, trying to spark some light in this Ravens offense. So there's a shot scooped up there by Jackson Hayner. Nate Allen going the other way. Allen dumps that off to Chamberlain, who finds Connor Curtis. Connor Curtis, Chamberlain. Now over to Dealman. Dealman looking to strike. A jab step by Fournier. Dumps that. Harlach couldn't connect there on that pass, and it's going to be scooped up and saved by Faubert. And Faubert's going to start this fast break and get this ball going to the other zone. Armstrong working. Quick pass out in front, deflected there. Chris Schell with a great defensive play. Still Ravens ball, but he interrupts what would have been a great connection for the Ravens. So about 2 minutes, 25 seconds left on the clock. Ravens grasping at straws here. And York can't connect on that shot. So that may just be the final nail in the coffin here. As York can't convert on that shot, the Excalibur's going the other way. 12-5 with 2 minutes left. The Excalibur just need to survive these 2 minutes, and they'll be headed to the Piscataway Cup. And so Dealman loses his stick. Ravens go the other way. And another scuffle there, and it's defended very nicely once again by the Excalibur. They're going the other way through the midfield. Here's Dealman. He's got room. Tardif tried to get that shot off, but deflected by Faubert. And that Hail Mary pass interrupted. Cam York is right there, and Cam York picks up a score, and it's 12-6 now. And so Nate Allen was so close to deflecting that pass, but Cam York and Faubert connect on the Hail Mary. Here's York once again, a quick pass, and there's Carleton once again, Jensen White. And so the Ravens are sneakily getting themselves back into this one. 12-7 now. So Trent potentially losing a little bit of steam here down the stretch, but So Will White is in the penalty box for the Excalibur. Ravens are a man up. 45 seconds left on the clock. They've got to move quickly here, but it's Nate Allen who's scooping that ball up once again. And Heiner fishing for this ball in the net. Clock back on. 30 seconds left. This may be it for the Excalibur. And they're going to waltz their way into the offensive zone. Just trying to burn the clock here. And so 8 seconds left on the board. And both teams know the fate of this game. It's over. The Trent Excalibur win 12-7 against the Carleton Ravens. They book their ticket to the Bagataway Cup. They remain undefeated at home this season, 6-0, a perfect record there. And what a game it was for Mason Tardif, picking up 4 goals. And Trent survives the third quarter comeback. They exploded on offense. Their defense was suffocating, and Callan Baker was brilliant in net. It was an all-around great win for Trent, and the white and green move on to the Bagataway Cup. So it's a disappointing end to the season for the Ravens. They fought hard, got some big wins against some tough teams, but in the end, the Excaliburs move on. So thank you for watching. My name's Anson Boris, and we'll see you at the Bagataway Cup.